Ellen McCauley, and I'm a Pray It Off in Syracuse, New York. And you know, we live in a world where there's a lot of chaos. We live in a country where there is chaos. You know, Mary Ellen said last week she doesn't even like to turn on CNN. Neither do we. Oh, there's talk of impeachment. There's talk of pulling troops out, and the Kurds and the Turkish, and then locally there's animals being abused, and everywhere you look there's chaos. That's not even counting our own lives, our own physical health, the physical health of people we love, people who we want to look out for, people that we're responsible for. And there seems to be one area that we in this group have continuously turned to over the years whenever we needed that comfort, and that is food. And there is something to be said about comfort food, but unless we come to grips with it, unless we deal with it, we will struggle with our weight the rest of our lives. And the back of the food law talks about hunger. And there's physical hunger, and there is emotional hunger as well. Physical hunger is gradual. You wake up in the morning, you're kind of hungry because you haven't eaten all night. Or else most people have it, unless you're getting up for a 2 o'clock in the morning snack. And if you are, raise your hand right now. I want to see who's doing that. No. Ah, there's somebody back there now. Physical hunger means you're open to different foods. You say, you know, I'm hungry. I want a salad. I want some protein. I want something to really have a good meal. It's based in the stomach. Your stomach grumbles. You feel that gnawing feel. And physical hunger is kind of patient. You say, well, you know, I got to wash my face and brush my teeth. Then I'm going to go downstairs and eat breakfast. There is a physical need because your body needs this fuel to function. You make deliberate choices and you're aware, I'm going to eat breakfast now. I'm going to eat lunch. I'm going to eat dinner. And then you stop eating when you're full and you realize that eating is necessary. Eating is necessary to lead our lives. But emotional hunger comes on sudden. It's situational. You get a phone call, you're upset about something that happened at work, you say, I got to eat something. I got to eat something. And it's usually for a specific food. I want a candy bar. I want chips. I want a case of Michelob Ultra, and I want it now. And it's always above the neck. When you have emotional hunger, your belly isn't usually growling. It's usually paired with an upsetting emotion, an upsetting situation, something that you're trying to deal with. It sometimes involves automatic or absent-minded eating, where your hand's in that chip bag and you're going bag, mouth, bag, mouth. Anyone ever do that? Bag, mouth. What? The bag is empty? How did that happen? It doesn't stop when you're full. And here's the big one, everyone. You feel guilty. You feel guilty. Food becomes your enemy. You're in battles with food because you do not know how to deal with it. It is our enemy. And how do we turn our food, which is a gift from God, into being our friend? Well, first of all, we need to have nourishment that doesn't involve food. And people say, you can even mention the word nourishment and it doesn't involve food? How is that possible? You can nourish yourself in other ways. Listening to music, taking a walk, but let's really nail that down. Let's get down on that. You seek valuable relationships. If you are in a good friendship and the other person is struggling with their weight, are you going to say to that person, why don't we have a bowl of ice cream and talk about it? Does it really help that person who's struggling? That is why if you're struggling and you're in a relationship, you need to really think about how to nurture yourself in your environment. When I was given an office at work, my boss came up to me and she said, you know, Ellen, I know you're stuck in this little area with this other person and it hasn't been really conducive, but we've cleaned out the supply closet and there's enough room for an office in there. You want it? And I'm like, absolutely. Bob and I went in there on a Sunday. And people came on a Monday. I had a rug, I have plants, I have things on the wall. People are like, if this is how your office looks, how does your house look? And my house really looks nice except for all the millions of bins with all my junk in it, but no one can see those, they're in the basement. But anyway, I made that environment inviting, comfortable. I had beautiful artwork on the wall, photos of my family, because I'm there 7 hours a day, if not more. Connections. We have made connections in Pray It Off that we never would have made. Without Pray It Off, I would have never probably met Jean Ma. I might have seen her in the 3rd or 4th row back on the right-hand side of the church and said, oh, there's somebody, I don't know who it is, but maybe she's nice, I don't know. We have made relationships with our tables. I never would have met Joanne Melfi. I never would have met any of you. Sleep. I can't say enough how important that is. If you are struggling with getting enough sleep or getting good sleep, I suggest you get up at 4:30, you ride your bike for a half hour. Then you walk an hour and a half. You work full time, you talk to your mother every single day, you work on Pray It Off, you eat dinner with your husband, you watch Jeopardy, and by the time bedtime comes around, you're pretty tired. You get into a routine. It was so funny because Bob was at work the other day, and the guys were saying, what time did you go to bed last night? And one guy's like, I went to bed kind of early, 11. Now these are guys that get to the job site by 6 in the morning. They get up early. One guy goes, I went to bed early, 11. Another guy said, oh my gosh, I went to bed at 10. I thought that was early. And then Bob wasn't saying anything. And they said, Bob, what time did you go to bed? And he goes, 8:15. And it felt good. It felt good. Movement. I can't say enough about movement. And I think there's certain things you can do. Getting your nails done. Getting a pedicure. When she takes that stuff and rubs it on my legs over and over and over again, there's a part of me that says to myself, I don't want her to ever stop rubbing that stuff on my legs. I wonder if I slip her a 20 if she'll do it for a half hour more. That is how I nourish myself, by getting my nails done, by making sure my hair looks decent. It is important. Then, another article. A person, Susan Elbers, wrote a book, 50 Ways to Soothe Yourself Without Food. And I wrote her an email. I found her email. I wrote her an email. So she sends me an email. She goes, I hope you enjoyed the downloads I sent you. So I emailed her back. I never got any downloads. So I haven't heard from her since. So she's probably scamming me or something. But no, she is... Please silence yourself. She has written this book, 50 Ways to Soothe Yourself Without Food. And the thing is, food does have the power to reduce stress and bring comfort and even alleviate boredom. But then it's temporary. It doesn't last, and then that guilt comes in. When you say, why? Why did I have 3 pieces of everything pizza when Ellen's always talking about pizza and telling me I really shouldn't eat it? We talk about self-soothing, and we talk about patterns. Do you eat when you're not hungry, but you can't even seem to stop yourself? People are having toast for breakfast, a sandwich for lunch, and 2 rolls for dinner. And I say to them, you should really have bread at only 1 meal, and then they say to me, you said to eat whole grains. And I did. I did say to eat whole grains, just not that many, okay? And if you're not losing weight, hey, you can have bread, you can have the whole loaf. If you lose 2 pounds, I'm not going to say a word. But if you're gaining 2 pounds, that's where you cut it back. And then snacking in that trance. I always called it a fugue state, F-U-G-U-E, where you are disassociated from yourself and you're just eating, eating. Comfort me, comfort me, comfort me. What? It's gone and I feel no comfort. And then eating is a way to relax. Face it, don't you? I used to come home, we would go out and we'd come home and my mother always would turn off the TV or stop what she was doing and she'd say, how was your time? She wanted to know all about your time. And I'd tell her about my time and then she'd say, what'd you eat? Right? Don't you always want to know what'd you eat? What they have? Tell me about it. Food is American entertainment. And we got in trouble with it. If we don't break that chain, then we will keep gaining weight. And here's what it is. If you are gaining more than 3 pounds in a week, you are emotional eating. You are overeating because you're trying to fill a void. It talks about baby steps. I think Pray It Off is the quintessential baby steps. I have taken 12 years of baby steps to get to where I am today. It says, take a mindful walk. And I love a mindful walk where you look and say, oh, look at that dog. I wonder if they have an electronic fence because the dog's not trying to kill me. I bet you they do. And then you walk a little bit more and you go, oh, Jesus, hold my hand, let's talk. And then you look at the neighbor and you go, oh, I never saw that neighbor. How you doing? And they look at you like you're a serial killer and they run in your house. And then you make all these like mindfulness. You walk around. And then I love number 2, start a journal. You know why I love that? Because no one does it. I have a journal that I keep every single day. I'm a busy person. Would anyone say I was busy? And yet I keep a journal because I find, and here's what I do. Every night I read the previous 4 years of what I wrote on that day. And I'll say, Bob, do you know 2 years ago was when the neighbors called the cops on us? And then I mention things like that. That really happened, but that's a story for another day. Another thing you do is you come up with a mantra to keep you from emotional eating. I have a million mantras. Jesus, I trust in you. That's a good one. Or, I will just feel guilty, so I'm not going to do it. Or, when I lose 1 more pound, I am going to have a hot fudge sundae, which I don't. It's delay, delay, delay. Sweat it out. Somebody came in tonight and said, Ellen, don't give me a hug. I'm all sweaty. I love sweaty hugs. I think sweaty hugs are the best. Try chewing on something that's not food. I still chew gum, even though it's not nicotine gum. Chew gum. And face it, how many people, you don't have to raise your hand, have an oral fixation? You gotta have something. You gotta have candy, you gotta have cookies, you gotta have cake, so have some sugar-free gum. And you might say, well, Ellen, how do you know you're gonna have enough gum? Well, I've got this package of gum here, and then I've got, I could go in here and pull out, here's a package of gum. I am never without tons of gum because I need it. If you know you need something, then you have it. I don't snack, but I chew sugar-free gum. Also, give something of yourself to others. One person made me a little sad tonight, and I'm not going to say who it is, because I was saying that with every 10 pounds you lose, you get at least a year on your life. And I've lost almost 200 pounds, so is it? Every 10 pounds. So that's like 20, is it 20 years?
Yeah.
Wow. If you got 50 pounds to lose, you got yourself 5 years. And then this person said, well, I don't know how much I have to live for. And that made me a little sad because I think this person is one of the most wonderful, loving, kind people. And I think Pray It Off almost gives us all a little raison d'etre. And if we can just help people. Helping people to me is enough to make any life worth living. So 75% of overeating is triggered by emotions. 75%. Only 25% because it tastes kind of good. And you do get feel-good chemicals in your brain. You do. I'm not saying you don't, but it doesn't last. And the media and ads push food, push food, push food. Also, you think you can't deal with this emotion, and God is up there going, excuse me, I want to help you. Please, I'm here. And somebody said it tonight. Was it you, Barbara? That said God doesn't change. God is unchanging. Somebody said it. Maybe it was you, Teresa. Whatever you said. Barbara. God doesn't change. We change. We think food will help us, but God is there, and He never changed. The good news is you can change your emotional eating habits. I'm going to stop right there, Bobby.